If you've ever seen a family arguing over the last slice of pie, you already know the mood of this story. Now picture that same sort of bickering, only with teeth, claws, and a lot more dust. Out here on the Serengeti, lions and hyenas are locked in a long-running feud, and neither side is in the mood to back down. We'll follow a hunting pride of lions, a huge hyena clan, and the young animals caught right in the middle. There are births, fights, broken families, and hard lessons at every turn. It's a wild place, full of danger and grit, but also full of life. And if you love these big African landscapes as much as I do, say hello in the comments and tell me where you're watching from. Have you ever wondered why some of the Serengeti's fiercest drama seems to gather around a few worn rocky hills? Out here, the granite rocks rise from the grass like old grey islands, warm in the sun and cool in the shade. They give young lions places to hide, to rest, and to slip away from the heat. They also sit close to water holes, where zebra, antelope, and other grazers come to drink. That makes this a busy place, full of opportunity and danger at the same time. The rocks echo with calls at night, with footsteps on stone, and with the quiet tension of animals that know they are never really alone. This is lion country, but it is also hyena country. And in the days ahead, both will fight hard for every meal. If you're watching from home, say hello in the comments and tell us where you're listening from. If you've ever watched a crowd at a fairground, shoulder to shoulder, noisy, pushy, and hard to ignore, then you already have some idea of what a hippo group can feel like. Only here, the crowd weighs several tons, and it's gathered right at the water's edge. The river looks calm from a distance, but up close, it bulges with heads, ears, and wide open mouths. Hippos spend their days half hidden in the water, and when the sun drops, they come alive on land. In this part of Africa, they share the rivers and pools with lions, hyenas, and crocodiles, and every drink of water can turn into a tense meeting. They are huge, stubborn, and full of surprises. And in a landscape where every meal matters, their presence changes the whole scene. Think about standing in a crowded train station for a moment. People packed shoulder to shoulder, heads turning, bodies shifting, all of them aware that danger could come from anywhere. That is the feeling a zebra herd gives off on the open plains. Hooves stamp, ears twitch, stripes ripple as they move like one living crowd. Here in the Serengeti, these animals are always on the lookout because lions and hyenas both keep a close eye on them. And when the grass is short and the water holes fill up, the pressure rises fast. Stay with us and say hello in the comments if you're watching from home. This country of rocks, grass, smoke, and rain has plenty of drama ahead. Zebras help set the whole stage. In the Serengeti, they live alongside lions, hyenas, impalas, topi, warthogs, and many other grazers, and every day can turn into a race for life. Stripe by stripe, they help shape the rhythm of the plains. Under the bright African light, a zebra is hard to mistake for anything else. Those bold black and white stripes run over the neck, shoulders, belly, and legs like nature took a brush and kept going until every inch was covered. From a distance, the pattern can make a herd seem to blur together, almost like one moving cloud of lines. Up close, though, each zebra has its own look. The stripes are not all the same. Some are thinner, some are wider. Some bend in different ways. It's a bit like having a face and a fingerprint all wrapped into one animal. Their bodies are sturdy and round, built for life on the move. Long faces, upright manes, strong legs made for fast bursts, and long walks across dry country. A zebra is not a delicate creature. It is built like a road traveler, made to keep going when the land is dusty, hot, and wide open. That striped coat is more than just handsome. It helps break up the shape of the herd when they are crowded close, making it harder for predators to single out one animal from the rest. And when a zebra lifts its head, those wide, dark eyes and sharp ears say the same thing every time: "I saw you first." Most of the day, zebras spend their time eating, walking, and watching. Grass is their main food, so they move where the grazing is best and where fresh shoots can still be found. After fires, when the land turns black and then green again, zebras often come back to the new growth. They are built for that kind of changing country. They can cover a lot of ground, and they know how to read the land. Where is the water? Where is the safest path? Where is the herd now? Those questions shape almost every step they take. They are also alert in a way that feels almost restless. Heads up, ears turning. A few bites of grass, then a pause. Another look around. They do not linger carelessly in one place for long, and for good reason. A lone zebra is in trouble. A herd has eyes everywhere. That is why they keep together so tightly, especially near water holes and open feeding grounds where lions may be waiting. The young stay close to the grown animals. Mothers keep track of their foals with a mix of nudges, movement, and sharp sounds. Foals are born already able to stand and run, but they still depend on the herd for safety. In a place like the Serengeti, that matters more than almost anything. The herd acts like a fence made of bodies and nerves. If one zebra starts to move, the others notice. If danger appears, the whole group can turn and go at once. There is no time for hesitation. Zebras also live with a kind of constant nervous energy that never really lets up. They drink when they can. They graze while they can. They rest only when the herd feels settled enough to pause. Even then, one animal may be standing guard, while others lower their heads. It is a shared life, but not a soft one. Every member depends on the others to stay alive. And that may be the best thing about zebras. They are not built to be flashy in the usual sense. But their stripes, their caution, and their teamwork have made them some of the best survivors on these plains. They feed the big cats, yes, and that makes them part of the great hunt. But they also help keep the grasslands moving, one mouthful at a time, one step at a time. In a landscape ruled by hunger and weather, that steady way of life matters. As the sun drops lower, the herd tightens up. The ears turn, the heads rise. For a moment, everything goes still, as if the whole plain is holding its breath. Then, with a wave of movement, the zebras flow onward across the grass, striped shadows in the fading light. Near dusk, the plains begin to change. The air cools a little. The shadows stretch. A zebra herd is moving toward water when the first trouble starts. There's a thin whistle of warning, then a burst of movement from the grass. The herd jolts. Heads fly up. Hooves hammer the ground. One zebra swings wide, another cuts back, and the whole group scatters and regathers in a flash of stripes and dust. Close behind them, a lioness breaks from cover, all speed and power. She is not alone for long. Nearby, hyenas have caught the same commotion and are already racing in to see if they can steal a chance. Everything is loud now, splashes at the edge of the water, snorts, sharp cries. The zebras do what they do best. They do not freeze. They wheel together, then push away from the danger, keeping the herd tight and the foals inside the circle. The lioness hesitates. The hyenas press closer. No one has a free path. In the end, the zebras carry the moment by staying united. They move off into the dimming grass, battered by fear, but still together, and the plain slowly settles back into its evening rhythm. From a distance, it just looks like a herd moving on. But up close, it is survival in every step. The blackened ground still holds the memory of fire. The air smells of ash and dry grass, and every step sends up a soft puff of soot. Yet this land is not empty. Far from it, in the weeks after the flames, the charred savanna comes back to life in its own rough, stubborn way. Green shoots push through the dark earth. Antelopes drift back to graze. Lions and hyenas begin to circle again, each looking for an opening. This is the Mara Reserve after the burn, a place where danger and fresh growth arrive together. The wide-open plains can feel harsh and raw, but they also bring food, movement, and new chances for hunters and their rivals. Stay with us, and you'll see how quickly this burned landscape becomes a stage for survival. The smell changes first. Ash from old fires, sweet green grass after rain, and the damp edge of a shallow pool. Then the birds come into view, stepping through the smoke-hazed morning like they own the place. Long legs, broad wings, slow, careful movements. Around them, the grassland is waking up again after fire and rain, and the whole scene feels busy with new life. Here in the Mara grasslands, storks share the open country with lions, hyenas, zebras, topi, antelopes, and warthogs. In a season like this, nothing is ever standing still for long. And if you love watching wild places come back to life, say hello in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. These birds may seem calm, but they are part of a world where every meal, every storm, and every fire can change the day. White storks are big wading birds that often travel far across Africa, and in this burned grassland, they have found a feast. They are not hunters in the usual sense. They are more like patient cleanup crew, arriving when the land has opened up food for them. That makes them surprisingly important. A stork's body is built for the open. It stands tall on thin red legs, almost like a pair of walking stilts. Its plumage is mostly white, clean, and bright against blackened earth, with black wing feathers that show when it lifts off. The bill is long, straight, and red, made for grabbing frogs, insects, small reptiles, and anything else it can catch in the shallows or among the ashes. Up close, a stork has a neat, almost formal look, but there is nothing delicate about the life it leads. This bird spends much of its time stalking through wet ground, dry fields, and burned grass, searching for easy prey. After a fire, the ground can be full of chance. Small animals are exposed, insects flee. Tiny creatures that hid in the thatch have nowhere to run. A stork works that edge patiently, taking one careful step after another, then striking fast when something moves. It will eat just about anything small enough to swallow, which is one reason it does so well in changing country. Some days it feeds alone. Other days you may see several birds gathered, where the food is good, each one keeping a little space, each one watching the others. There is no rush. The stork can wait. And in a landscape where the wind, fire, and rain keep rewriting the ground under everyone's feet, patience is a useful skill. You can almost feel that slow rhythm in the way it moves. No wasted motion. No panic, just a steady search for the next meal. White storks also make use of the same open land that draws antelopes and gazelles back after the rains, so their lives are tied to the health of the grasslands. When the fires come too often, the land changes, and that can ripple through the whole food chain. That is the quiet side of a bird like this. It may not roar like a lion or laugh like a hyena, but it tells you a lot about whether the country is still working. And when the evening light softens over the Mara, these birds seem to fit the place perfectly, tall, watchful, and calm on the surface, while the whole savanna shifts beneath them. Then the sun drops lower, the smoke thins, and the storks keep on feeding, as if they know the day is not over yet. Have you ever watched a place look empty one month and then burst into life the next? Out here in the Mara grasslands, that is exactly what happens. After the fires pass and the rains return, the ground turns soft and green again, and the whole landscape feels awake. Fresh grass covers the rolling plains. The air smells clean and damp. Herds of antelope move back in. Topi gather in their meeting places, and zebras start feeding in the open once more. Even the lions and hyenas change their plans when this country wakes up. It is a wide open place with room for fast chases, sudden danger, and long watches under the sun. And in a land like this, every step can mean a meal or a missed chance. If a tank could get up and walk, it might look a little like a buffalo. Heavy, broad, and built like it means business from the first step. Out here on the open grasslands, a buffalo can seem slow at first glance, but that would be a mistake. These animals live in large herds across the Serengeti and the Mara, and they are one of the toughest meals a lion can ever try to bring down. They move together, watch each other, and do not give up their ground easily. The adults stand like a wall of muscle and horn, and the calves stay close to the safety of the group. Buffaloes may not have the fame of lions or hyenas, but they are a big part of this country, and they can change the whole mood of a hunt. Keep your eyes on them, because when buffaloes gather, the whole grassland feels different. The strange thing is, the loudest life in this pride is often not the big male at all. It's the soft coughs between mothers and cubs, the little grunts at feeding time, the low rumble that says, "Stay close." Then, in the next breath, there's teeth, dust, and a sharp warning snap that sends everybody jumping. These are the lion kings and lionesses of the Serengeti granite rocks, and right now, their world is changing fast. This pride has raised 9 cubs here, but with new males moving in, The old order is gone. Say hello in the comments if you're watching from home, because this is one of those families that feels almost close enough to touch. The lionesses hold the real strength of the pride, while the males come and go like storms, and out here, every day can bring a challenge. On these granite rocks, life is both a nursery and a battlefield. Under the heat of the Serengeti sky, the rocks rise out of the grass like islands of shade and shelter. They are broken, rounded, and full of hiding places, small caves, narrow ledges. Tight corners where cubs can disappear in a blink. That makes this a good home for a pride with young ones to protect. Nearby, waterholes draw zebras, antelopes, and all the other animals that have to drink. And where prey gathers, lions will not be far behind. The adult lions here are built for power, but the lioness carries the main load. She is the one who hunts most often. She is the one who feeds the cubs. She is the one who has to think ahead when the pride begins to split apart. A lion looks solid and heavy from a distance, but up close, there is grace in every line. The coat is tawny, the color of dry grass at the end of a long season. That helps them fade into the land. Their ears are small and round. Their eyes are pale and direct. Their faces are broad, with whiskers that catch the light. And then there is the mane on the males, dark, shaggy, and unforgettable. It makes a male lion look bigger than life, like he walked out of a storybook. But that look can fool you. The male may seem like the ruler, yet in this pride, his power is fragile. A lion king often holds a territory for only about 2 years before another male or pair of males pushes him out. That is a hard life, and this one has already been wounded. The lionesses are different. They are sleek, strong, and built for work. Their bodies are all muscle under that plain golden coat. They move with a quiet confidence that says they know this ground better than anyone else. Their days are a mix of waiting, watching, and sudden bursts of action. In the cool hours, they lie low and save energy. When the time is right, they rise and begin to search. They know the waterholes bring prey. They know zebras are hard to bring down alone, especially in the open. But a lone lioness will still try if the chance looks right. She may work with the others, or she may hunt on her own, slipping through the grass and using every fold of the land. Then comes the rush. A lion's attack is part patience, part speed, part brute force. First the stalk, then the run, then the grab. Nothing about it is casual. And when the hunt ends, there is no long pause to celebrate. Eat fast, guard the meat, watch the horizon. Because hyenas are always nearby, and they never waste time once they smell a kill. Family life in a lion pride is messy, and that is putting it kindly. A pride is not ruled by a neat, fixed order like people sometimes imagine. Things change. Cubs grow. Sisters split off. Sons become stronger than daughters. New males arrive and push the old ones out. In this pride, 3 lionesses have raised 9 cubs, but the brothers are already making trouble. They are bigger than their sisters and grab more of the food. The sisters get pushed around. Scraps turn into arguments. Arguments turn into claw marks. And before long, the young lions who once played together are hurting each other for real. It is a rough school, and there are no easy lessons here. The old male can no longer protect the young as he once did. He is wounded, and his time is nearly over. The new males have taken over, and now the lionesses must see what kind of fathers these strangers will be. Will they stay? Will they protect the cubs? Or will they move on as soon as they can? That uncertainty hangs over the whole pride. The male lions may wear the crown, but the lionesses keep the family alive. They hunt, they teach, they defend, and they carry the burden when the males are gone. Lions matter here because they help keep the prey animals moving and alert. They take the weak, the old, or the unwary, and that helps shape the whole grassland community. They also have to live with constant pressure from hyenas, which means every meal can turn into a contest. In a place like this, strength is not just about claws, it is about timing, teamwork, and knowing when to hold ground and when to step back. One warm evening, that knowledge will be tested. The sun drops low over the rocks, and the land begins to cool. The lionesses are spread out near the edge of the territory, listening. A herd of zebra lingers near a waterhole, heads down, tails twitching. They seem calm, but nothing out here stays calm for long. One lioness starts to creep through the shadowed grass. Another circles wider, using the broken ground to stay hidden. A few cubs are tucked safely back among the rocks, but the older young are restless, watching everything with hungry eyes. Then the zebras startle. A head lifts. Another. Dust flicks into the air. The lioness breaks cover. Fast, low, silent at first. Then all at once, a blur of power. The zebras scatter, hooves pounding. One bolts straight away. Another cuts left. The lioness misses by a whisker. She keeps going anyway, because stopping now would waste the effort. Behind her, the pride's world is still full of danger. A hyena clan is out there somewhere, and if one of them catches the scent of blood, the night could change in a heartbeat. That is how life goes here. One moment of calm, one burst of speed. Then, the whole grassland leans in and holds its breath. The smell comes first. Warm dust, old dung, and that sharp wild scent of blood and grass, crushed under heavy feet. Then the laughing starts, rolling out across the rocks like a rough chorus in the dark. Spotted hyenas have a voice that can make the skin prickle. They call, whoop, and cackle, and the whole clan seems to wake at once. Out here on the Serengeti, that sound can mean trouble is near. These are the animals the lions never quite get away from. They know the same waterholes, the same prey, the same hiding places. And when the night is right, both sides move in the same direction. If you've ever watched a backyard full of noisy relatives all talking at once, you already have a small idea of a hyena clan. Say hello in the comments if you're watching from home, and let's step into their world. Spotted hyenas live in big clans across much of Africa, and here around the Rocky Valley, they rule by numbers, nerves, and teamwork. One thing stands out right away. The females run the show. They are larger, tougher, and higher in rank than the males. And that changes everything. At first glance, a spotted hyena can seem a little odd. The back slopes downward, like the front and back halves were built by different hands. The neck is thick and strong. The head is broad, with powerful jaws made for crushing bones as well as tearing meat. The coat is sandy to gray, scattered with dark spots that give these animals their name. Those spots are not neat little dots like paint on a quilt. They are more irregular than that, like mud splashes on a work shirt. The ears are round and alert. The eyes often seem to glow with a hard, watchful light. And then there's the body itself. Not graceful in the way a lion moves, but solid, built for endurance. Hyenas can cover ground for miles in search of food. Their legs may look a little awkward compared with a cat's, but they get the job done. And once they gather together, that odd-looking shape starts to make perfect sense. This is an animal built for long nights, long roads, and long chances. The clan's life is tied to the open savanna, but they also keep close to rocky hideouts and family gathering places near the valley. That gives them places to rest, raise young, and retreat when danger comes near. They are most active at dawn and dusk, and often well into the night. While the lions may rely on sudden bursts of speed and a quick finish, hyenas are patient. They can track, wait, and then press in hard when the chance arrives. They eat what they can catch, of course, but they are also skilled at taking carrion when a meal is already on the ground. Nothing goes to waste for long when hyenas are nearby, and when prey is scarce, they keep searching. A hyena's day is really a search for the next opportunity. Sometimes that means following the smell of a fresh kill. Sometimes it means shadowing lions from a distance, just in case the cats leave something behind. Sometimes it means testing the edges of a hunt and seeing who blinks first. They are not shy about risk when the clan is large enough to back them up. One hyena alone may hesitate. 10 together are a different story. They fan out, watch each other, and move in with confidence. That is part of what makes them such successful hunters and scavengers both. In this landscape, food can be hard to find, and a hyena never wants to miss a chance. The family side of hyena life is just as striking. These animals live in a strict order, and that order can hold a clan together for many years. The high-ranking females pass their place down through the family line, so daughters often grow up near the top too. That stability matters. It means a clan can stay strong, organized, and ready for the next challenge. Males, on the other hand, usually join from outside and start near the bottom. They have to earn their place the hard way. Young hyenas are raised in the open savanna, but they are not left helpless. Mothers and older females help shape the clan's future, and cubs grow up learning who to respect, who to avoid, and when to push. That social learning starts early. You can see it in the way they crowd together, watch each other, and react fast to every sound around them. One of the most important things about spotted hyenas is how much they matter to the land itself. They clean up carcasses that might otherwise linger in the heat. They help keep the wild places from filling with waste. They also keep pressure on prey animals, which helps shape how zebras, antelopes, and other grazers move across the plain. In that sense, they are part of the great rhythm of the Serengeti. They are not villains, they are survivors. And even though people have long misunderstood them, hyenas are vital to a healthy landscape. Where they have room to live and roam, the whole system works better. By night, the clan headquarters near the rocks can feel alive with motion. One evening, the air is thick and still. Then, a low sound spreads through the grass. A few hyenas are on the move, and others answer. A hunting chance is in the air. At a waterhole nearby, zebras crowd together, sides touching, ears flicking in every direction. They are tense, but for the moment, they keep drinking. Then the first alarm comes from the dark. A hyena has picked up a scent, and more clan members are already closing in. The zebras break. Hooves strike the ground. Dust lifts in a pale cloud. A lioness, half hidden in the shadows, makes her own move from another angle. For a few breathless seconds, the whole plain seems to tighten. One side wants the kill, the other wants to keep it. The hyenas surge forward, bold now that others have joined. The zebras scatter toward the open. Somewhere off in the dark, another hyena call rises, and the clan keeps coming. That is the life here. Noisy, risky, and always shared with rivals. In the end, the laughing carries on into the night, and the rocks hold it all. The first warning is the smell. Hot grass, dry dust, and that musky barnyard scent that hangs in the air when warthogs have been nearby. Then you hear the little things: a grunt from the brush, a snort, the scrape of hooves in the dirt. Out on these rocky edges and grassy patches of the Serengeti, warthogs are never far from trouble. They are not the biggest animals here, and they do not act like they have anything to prove. But that plain, practical little body can mean the difference between a hungry predator going home empty and a family of hogs making it through another day. These animals live in the same country as lions, hyenas, and crocs, and every one of those neighbors has an opinion about them. Warthogs spend much of their time with one eye on food and the other on the nearest escape route. If you want to know how life works here, these odd-looking survivors are a good place to start. Have you ever seen an animal that seems built for panic and confidence at the same time? That is the warthog. They live across much of sub-Saharan Africa, including the Serengeti, and they are famous for their stubborn toughness, their sharp tusks, and their habit of backing into danger rather than running from it. Up close, a warthog has a face you do not forget. The head is large and broad, with a blunt snout that looks almost too heavy for the body. Two tusks curve out from the mouth like old ivory hooks. They are not just for show. Those tusks can do real damage if a lion or hyena gets too close. The face also has those strange bumps, like thick pads on the cheeks, which give the animal its name. Then there is the body itself. Low to the ground, squat, and a little awkward looking, as if nature built it for survival first and grace later. A warthog's coat is sparse and bristly, with a tough, patchy look that fits the dusty plains. And when it runs, that bare little tail shoots straight up like a flagpole, a comical sight that somehow makes perfect sense. It is not trying to look elegant, it is trying to get away. Warthogs also have a habit of kneeling down on their front legs to graze, which gives them a funny, lopsided look. But that posture lets them feed close to the ground on grass and roots, even in rough country. They are not glamorous animals, but they are perfectly made for a hard life. Their bodies are built to squeeze into burrows, dash across open ground, and stand their ground when escape is not possible. And in a place like this, that matters. Warthogs are usually not long-distance wanderers. They stick close to places with shelter, especially burrows they can use for safety. In the heat of the day, they may rest near one of these holes, then move out to feed when the light softens. They graze on grasses, and also dig for roots and other plant matter. In the dry season, they know how to make do with what is left. That is a valuable skill on a landscape that can swing from green to scorched in no time. But food is only half the story. The other half is staying alive long enough to eat again tomorrow. A warthog family lives by quick decisions. If danger comes, the adults may run for a burrow, sometimes with the young tucked close behind. And if the hole is too small, or if the family is caught in the wrong place, then every second counts. Lions know this, so do hyenas. Both are willing to test the hog's defenses, especially when food is scarce. An adult warthog can outrun a lioness in a long chase, and that is no small thing. But speed alone is not enough in tall grass or near a burrow. The animal has to make the right move at the right moment, and that is where experience matters. A mother warthog can be fierce when she needs to be. She is not looking for a fight, but she will face one if her young are threatened. Those little ones stay close, and they learn early that the world is full of teeth. Warthogs also live in a world where shared shelters can bring trouble. Burrows protect them from cold nights and from predators, but they are not private spaces. A burrow can be a family refuge one day and a trap the next if a lion decides to pull an animal out by force. That is why warthogs spend so much of their time watching, listening, and choosing their next move with care. They are not the fastest animals here, and they are not the smartest in the storybook sense, but they are alert, stubborn, and hard to surprise twice. That kind of caution has helped them survive alongside some of Africa's most dangerous neighbors, and they matter more than they might seem at first glance. Warthogs are part of the daily work of the savannah. They turn up in the diet of lions and hyenas, and when they dig and feed, they help stir the ground a little too. They are one of the many animals that keep this system moving. Take them away, and a whole chain of feeding, chasing, and scavenging changes with them. They are also a reminder that survival here is not only for the biggest or the strongest. It is for the animals that know where to hide, when to freeze, and when to bolt. Late in the day, when the light turns gold and the wind drops, the real drama begins near one of those burrows. A lioness is already there, half hidden in the grass, her body low and still. She has spotted a warthog close to the entrance, and she knows she cannot rush it blindly. One wrong move, and those tusks could slice into her face or chest. The warthog is tense too, standing near the hole with its young nearby. Another adult hovers at the edge of the grass, snorting and shifting its weight. No one wants to give ground. The lioness creeps closer, The warthog darts away, then swings back toward the burrow, trying to keep itself between the predator and the youngsters. Then the chase breaks loose. Hooves hammer the dirt. Grass flies. The lioness lunges, misses, and has to reset. The warthog surges for the opening, but it is not quite close enough. Time stretches thin. One more burst of speed, one more desperate turn, and then the lioness finally gets her chance. It is hard work, not a clean, easy kill. In this land, even a small victory can take hours. When it is over, the savannah grows quiet again, and the burrow sits there in the fading light, reminding us that every meal here comes with a story. Did you know that a fresh patch of grass can bring antelopes back almost overnight? After the fire has passed and the first green shoots begin to push through the ash, the whole savannah seems to breathe again. Little by little, hoofbeats return, heads lift, ears twitch, and suddenly the open land is alive with grazing animals once more. These antelopes are the reason so many predators keep coming back to the same ground. They feed the lions, they draw the hyenas, and they shape every hunt that follows. Some are small and quick. Others are bigger, bolder, and built for speed over open country. Out here, every step matters. Every glance matters too. If you want, say hello in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. Across these grasslands, antelopes carry the story of the season itself, from fire to rain to the next chase. The land has only just turned green, and already the competition has begun. Have you ever noticed how quickly life returns after a burn? That is what makes this place so powerful to watch. Antelopes are a family of hoofed grazers and browsers spread across the Serengeti and the wider Mara region, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Some have sleek bodies made for sprinting. Others carry twisted horns like polished wood. Their coats can blend into grass so well that a whole group seems to appear out of nowhere. You might see them in open plains, in thin pockets of taller grass, or near waterholes where the feed is richest. They are always alert, always listening. One ear for the wind, one for the danger behind them. And that alertness never stops. These animals spend much of their day moving between feeding spots, choosing the best grass, and keeping close enough together to spot trouble early. In the early morning and late afternoon, when the light is softer, they are busiest. They graze with their heads low, then lift them in quick bursts to scan the horizon. It looks peaceful from far away, but it is a life of constant caution. A rustle in the grass can send the nearest animals springing away in a flash. Some antelopes rely on speed alone. Others use sharp turns and sudden leaps to throw off a hunter. A lioness may study a group for a long time, looking for the one that lags behind or stands a little too far from safety. Hyenas do the same, but they often work differently. They may test the herd with noise and numbers, trying to stir up panic. Either way, the antelopes are the ones who have to read the land first. They are not just grazing machines. They are careful survivors, built for a world where lunch can be one bad mistake away. Their family life can be just as interesting. Many antelopes gather in herds, sometimes small, sometimes large, and that gives them a better chance to spot lions and hyenas before it is too late. Safety is stronger in numbers. A single set of eyes can miss a lot, but a whole herd keeps watch from every angle. Mothers stay close to their young, and calves learn fast by copying the adults around them. They learn where to feed, when to freeze, and how to bolt in an instant. Some males defend patches of ground during the breeding season, trying to impress females and chase off rivals. Others simply drift with the herd, waiting for the right moment. Even then, the social order can shift quickly. A herd that looks calm from a distance is often full of tiny decisions, constant checking, and silent warnings passed through body language. A flick of the tail, a stiffened neck, a sudden stamp. That is all it takes to send a message. Antelopes matter because they tie the whole food web together. They turn grass into meat for lions and hyenas. They keep predators moving. They also help shape the look of the land by grazing in different places, which can affect where new growth appears after rain and fire. But they are under pressure too. When fires come too often, or when grasslands change too much, their feeding grounds can shrink. Protecting these open spaces matters, because when antelopes thrive, so does everything that depends on them. And then comes the moment that reminds you why all this watchfulness exists. Late in the day, when the heat begins to soften and the shadows stretch across the grass, a small herd gathers near a shallow hollow. The air is still, too still. A few toppies stand apart, heads high, ears forward. Nearby, a line of antelopes shifts nervously as the wind changes. Then one animal starts to move. Just a step, then another. That is all the opening a hunter needs. Out in the fading light, a lioness slips forward through the grass, low and patient. On the far side, a hyena trots in from the edge of the plain, drawn by the same chance. The antelopes break at once, hooves drum the ground. Dust jumps up in little bursts. Some race straight ahead. Others veer hard left, then right, trying to shake the pursuers. For a few seconds, everything becomes speed and noise and survival. Then, just as quickly, the herd pulls away into safer ground, and the predators are left with empty grass and the long evening settling over the savannah. It is a hard lesson and a familiar one. In this place, the antelopes are never just background. They are the pulse that keeps the hunters moving. There is a special kind of quiet that settles over the grass after the heat of the day. The air still trembles a little. In the distance, a bird calls once, then goes silent. Out here, every movement seems to matter, and right in the middle of that calm, the topers gather. They stand like they belong to the land itself, half shadow, half sunlight, watching, listening, waiting for the next threat to show itself. Topers live in the Serengeti and nearby grasslands, and they know these open places better than most. They are one of the animals that keep this wide country alive with movement, even when the land looks still. And as we watch them today, we are also watching a world where lions and hyenas are never far away. If you're enjoying the journey, say hello in the comments and tell us where you're watching from. From a distance, a topi can look almost painted by hand, with rich brown patches, darker purple tones, and those striking markings on the face and legs that make it stand out in the grass. The body is sleek and built for running, with long legs made for open country. It's not a bulky animal. It has a lean, springy shape, almost like a runner, that never quite stops warming up. The head is narrow, the ears alert, and the eyes always seem to be taking in more than they let on. That look matters. In a place like this, paying attention can save your life. Topers spend much of their time out in the open, where there is nowhere to hide and nowhere to relax for long. They feed on grass, and they do it with care, cropping the fresh growth that comes after rain. But they are not just eating machines. They are constantly checking the wind, the shape of the horizon, and the body language of the herd. A topi that notices danger early gives the others a chance to move before trouble gets close. Lions know that. Hyenas know it too. That is why topis are such important parts of this grassland world. They turn the new growth into food, and they become food for the hunters that follow them. It sounds harsh, but that is how the system works here. One life feeds another, and nothing is ever wasted for long. Topis also have a life built around numbers. They gather in groups, sometimes in large concentrations where the grass is good and the space is open. The bulls can be territorial, holding small patches and trying to impress females, much like singers trying to own the best corner of a crowded dance floor. They square off, posture, and defend their ground. The females and young move through these areas, and the whole scene can feel orderly 1 minute and tense the next. When danger appears, the herd can shift in an instant. Heads come up, bodies turn, hooves begin to move. There is no need for a loud alarm every time, because one nervous glance is often enough to pass the warning along. New calves stay close to their mothers, and the adults keep the young inside the group where they are safer. Still, life here is full of risk. A topi cannot rely on hiding. It has to trust speed, watchfulness, and the protection of the herd. And because it lives in open country, it also helps shape the land by the way it grazes, keeping some grasses cropped and opening space for other animals to move in behind it. In that way, topis are part of the daily rhythm of the plain. They help define where the hunters go, where the grazers feed, and where the whole drama of the grassland plays out. Then comes the moment the whole herd has been waiting for. The light is fading. The grass has gone silver at the tips. A few topis stand chest deep in the evening hush, chewing slowly, almost careless, but not quite. One lifts its head, another follows. A shape has moved out there in the dark line of the grass. At first, it is only a hint. Then the tension spreads. The herd tightens. Hooves shift. A calf edges closer to its mother. Somewhere beyond the rise, a lioness has started to move, and a hyena clan is already on the alert, drawn by the same chance. The topis do not wait to find out who is closer. They break into motion all at once, fast and sudden, cutting through the grass with sharp, bounding strides. For a second, everything is movement. Then the night takes over again, and the plain falls quiet, as if nothing happened at all. But the memory of that flash of danger stays in the air. It reminds us that even in the calmest places, the wild is always listening. If you've ever watched a neighborhood diner at lunchtime, you know the scene. Everyone wants a seat, nobody wants to wait, and the whole place hums with restless energy. A waterhole can feel just like that. In the dry season, it is where the plains come together. Zebra arrive first in noisy groups. Antelopes slip in more quietly. Warthogs trot up on short legs, always alert. And above them all, danger may be waiting in the grass. These pools are magnets for life in the Serengeti and the Mara. They offer a drink, yes, but they also draw lions, hyenas, crocodiles, and hippos. For the predators, that means opportunity. For the prey, it means a nervous trip to the edge of the water. Every visit is a gamble, and every ripple tells a story. The grass is still damp from the night, and every sound carries farther than it should. A cough from the brush, a soft snort, then a sudden burst of movement, all legs and dust and alarm. In this open country, One wrong step can turn a peaceful feeding spot into a stampede in a heartbeat. The animal at the center of it all is the impala, one of the Serengeti's most common antelopes and one of its most alert. They live in big herds across the grasslands and rocky edges, always watching, always listening, always ready to jump. That springy body, those sharp eyes, and that habit of staying in groups help them survive where lions and hyenas are never far away. They may look gentle, but they live on constant edge, and that makes them a perfect match for a land where danger can come from any direction. Impalas are built for speed and for surprise. Their coats are a soft reddish tan, with white bellies and black markings that make them easy to spot in the light of day. They have long faces, slender legs, and graceful curved horns on the males that can grow strong and heavy as they get older. But their real gift is movement. They can bound through the grass like a string pulled tight and suddenly released, clearing bushes and rough ground with ease. That springy leap is not just for show. It helps them escape when a predator closes in, and it can also warn the herd. When one impala bolts, the others often follow almost at once. In a place like the Serengeti, that quick reaction can mean the difference between a close call and a lost life. Much of an impala's day is spent feeding. They graze on fresh grass when they can, but they also browse on leaves and shoots, especially when the land dries out. They prefer areas with a mix of open ground and cover because that lets them eat while still keeping an eye out for trouble. They are cautious animals, but not nervous in a silly way. Their caution is earned. Lions stalk them. Hyenas test them. Even young impalas have to learn early how to freeze, how to flee, and how to keep close to the herd. The group itself is a kind of shield. Many eyes see more than one. Many ears hear more than one. And when danger appears, the whole herd can switch from calm feeding to full alarm in a second. The females often live in groups with their young, while males may hold small territories during the breeding season and try to keep rivals away. That can lead to plenty of posturing and clashing, but the real pressure comes from the outside world. A lone impala is in a far worse position than one surrounded by its kind. Mothers do their best to hide newborn calves in the grass at first, returning often to nurse them. The little ones stay still and quiet, relying on camouflage and patience until they are strong enough to join the herd. It is a dangerous start, but it works often enough to keep the species thriving across much of eastern and southern Africa. Impalas matter because they sit right in the middle of the food chain. They turn grass and leaves into meat for the great hunters, and they help move energy across the the savanna. They are common, yes, but common does not mean unimportant. Without animals like impalas, the lions would have less to hunt, the hyenas would have less to scavenge, and the whole rhythm of the grassland would shift. In a land shaped by dry seasons, fire, rain, and pressure from predators, their quick feet and sharp senses help keep the larger story in motion. Now the herd lifts its heads again. One ear twitches, another. The danger has passed, for the moment. But out here, that is all any animal ever gets. And then, just beyond the herd, the real trouble begins to gather. The sun is dropping low, and the plains are turning gold. A small group of impalas is feeding near the edge of the grass, heads down, tails still. Then one flicks its ears and stiffens. Another follows. The warning spreads through the herd like a spark through dry straw. In the distance, a lioness is moving low through the brush. Not fast, not yet. She stops when they stop. She waits when they wait. She knows the ground is open and the impalas are ready to run. But she also knows that one mistake, one calf too slow, one patch of grass too thick for the herd to see clearly, could be enough. Suddenly, the impalas burst apart. Hooves hammer the earth. White tails flash. A young one veers too wide and nearly loses its footing in the dust. The lioness commits. She launches forward, muscles tight, shoulders rolling. For a few heartbeats, the chase is pure chaos. Then the herd swings away and the gap closes. The lioness pulls out. The impalas have won this round. They bunch together again in the fading light, breathing hard, sides heaving, but still alive. That is the way of this country. Breath by breath, leap by leap. Survival is never casual here, and that is what makes every quiet moment feel like a gift. If you've ever watched a family argue over the last slice of pie, you already know the basic idea here. But in this clan, the women are the ones calling the shots, and they do it with far more teeth. Out on the open savanna near the rocky valley, the hyena females keep the whole group steady, day after day, year after year. These are spotted hyenas, and the females are larger, tougher, and higher in rank than the males. They live close to the clan's home area, and they pass their status on through the family line. That alone makes them stand out. While lion prides can come apart and change hands in a hurry, a hyena clan can stay together for decades. That makes these females the backbone of the group, and often its sharpest minds too. From a distance, a hyena female may seem all shoulders and muscle, with a face that looks permanently suspicious, as if she has already heard your excuse and doesn't buy it. The sloping back, the big head, The strong jaws, the rough spotted coat, it all gives her a heavy, awkward look at first glance. But spend a little time watching her, and that first impression falls apart. She moves with purpose. Every step says she knows exactly where she is going. Her front legs are longer than her back legs, which gives her that odd downhill shape, like a chair that has been tipped forward. It makes her look clumsy, only until she starts moving at speed. Then, she is all business. Her coat is sandy gray with dark spots, and no two animals look quite the same. The ears are round and alert, the neck is thick, the muzzle is broad, and the mouth, well, that mouth is built for work. These animals can crush bones that other hunters leave behind. That means a meal that would be wasted for many others becomes something useful here. The females also have a way of carrying themselves that fits their rank. They do not rush around needlessly. They size things up. They hold their ground. And when they gather in a group, you can feel the confidence in them. They are not pretty in the soft, graceful way a leopard might be. They are built like survivors. And that is exactly what they are. A hyena female spends much of her day moving between rest, watchfulness, and action. There is no lazy drifting through the hours. She may spend time near the clan den, where the young are raised out in the open, but she is always ready to shift from stillness to speed in a heartbeat. Food drives much of her life. Hyenas will eat fresh kills, but they are also skilled at finding carrion, and they will not waste a chance to feed. That wide diet helps them survive in a place where meals can be hard to come by. They are smart about it too. A single female may not challenge a pride of lions head-on, but several together can harass, outnumber, and outlast a rival. That is a big part of how they live. Their strength is not just in muscle, it is in numbers, timing, and nerve. They can be patient for a long time, then suddenly burst into motion when an opening appears. Their calls carry far across the grassland, a mix of whoops, grunts, and laughing sounds that can seem strange if you hear them for the first time. But those sounds matter. They help keep the clan in touch, especially when members are spread out over a wide area. Family life among hyena females is where things get even more interesting. This is a world built on rank, and the females are the center of it. Daughters inherit their mother's status, and that gives the clan a structure that can last for generations. Higher-ranking females get better access to food, and they defend that advantage carefully. They know who they can push and who they need to respect. They also know how to work together. In the source story, 3 females team up to challenge another hyena, and that tells you a lot about how this society works. Alone, they would have been careful. Together, they can take a risk. That kind of alliance can change the order of things without a full fight tearing the clan apart. Mothers raise their young in the open savanna, and the cubs are not hidden away for long. Life is exposed here. Nothing is soft about it. The young learn quickly, and the females around them keep a close watch. Even at the den, there is constant movement, noise, and checking in. A female can be tender with her own cubs and tough as nails with everyone else. That mix is part of what makes the clan hold together. Why do these females matter so much? Because they are the glue. They keep the clan stable. They pass on knowledge, rank, and the habits that help the group survive. In a land where lions may lose a pride, where fires can change the grass, and where food can vanish fast, that kind of steady leadership matters. Hyena females also help clean up the landscape by feeding on carcasses that might otherwise go to waste. And though people often think of hyenas as messy scavengers, the truth is they are also skilled hunters in their own right. They fit into the food web as hunters, scavengers, and competition all at once. That makes them one of the most important animals on these plains. One evening, when the light is slipping low and the air is starting to cool, the clan feels the whole mood of the valley change. The lion pride nearby is uneasy. Young lions are pushing, new males are testing their place, and every family is watching every move. But the hyena females are already reading the scene. 3 of them linger together in the grass, shoulder to shoulder, as if they are sharing one thought. A suckling mother is nearby, guarding her young. The trio does not rush her. They circle. They watch. Then they move in, all at once, bold because they are together. The mother snaps and turns, but she is outnumbered. The 3 females press closer, then closer still, and the tension rises like heat off the ground. A louder call cuts across the dark. More clan members answer. That changes everything. The group swells. One more female joining, then another. Now, the confidence spreads through them like fire. Out on the open plain, where every advantage counts, that kind of backing can turn a small challenge into a serious shift in power. And that is the hyena female's world in a nutshell. Watch, wait, judge, then act with force when the moment is right. It's a strange sight at first. 1 minute, the carcass is almost gone. The next, the shoreline feels owned by low-slung shapes that seem to come out of the mud itself. Heavy tails slide through the water. Yellow eyes lift and settle. Then comes the sudden flash of teeth. Crocodiles can turn a meal into a standoff in a heartbeat. And on the banks of the Serengeti, that means no one gets careless for long. These river giants share the waterholes and pools with lions, hyenas, hippos, and all the thirsty animals that come down to drink. They are one more hard reality in a land where every mouthful matters. And if you've been enjoying this journey through the Serengeti, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. Crocodiles live in rivers, lakes, and marshes across much of Africa, including the waterways near these rocky territories. What stands out first is the armor. Their backs are covered in bumpy, ridged scales that look like old leather mixed with river stone. It's a body built for patience. The head is broad and low, with eyes and nostrils set high, so the animal can stay mostly hidden while still watching the world. That long tail is not just for show. It is the main engine, pushing through the water with slow power and sudden speed when needed. On land, they seem awkward at first, almost clumsy compared with the sleek glide they have in the water. But do not let that fool you. Up close, they look like living relics, ancient and hard to read, with jaws that can snap shut like a steel trap. Most of the day, a crocodile saves its energy. It may lie half in the water, half on the bank, with barely a ripple around it. That stillness is part of the trick. It waits for fish, birds, young mammals, and anything else that comes too close to the edge. When the sun is high, a crocodile often keeps to the shade of muddy banks or floats just below the surface, where only the eyes show. Then, when evening comes, it grows more active. The air cools. The animals come down to drink. That is when the water suddenly becomes dangerous. A crocodile does not waste motion. It watches. It waits. Then it lunges with shocking force. Even a big animal can be dragged under if the bank is steep and the grip is good. They are not hunters in a hurry. They are hunters who can wait all day for one mistake. Crocodile family life starts with a nest on land, built from mud and plants. The mother guards it closely, and when the eggs are ready, she helps the hatchlings reach the water. That is a risky first trip. Tiny crocodiles are easy targets for birds, monitor lizards, and other hungry mouths. But from the start, they carry the same hard-edged design as the adults, just in miniature. Young crocodiles stay close together for protection, and their mother will often stay near for a while, especially around the nursery area. They communicate in grunts, hisses, and splashes, and even a little one can make quite a noise. As they grow, the family bond loosens, and each crocodile begins to live more on its own. There is not much sharing here. Space, water, and food all matter. What makes crocodiles so important is simple. They help keep waterways healthy by taking weak, sick, or injured animals, and by cleaning up carcasses that would otherwise rot in the heat. They are also part of a bigger chain of life. Hippos, lions, hyenas, storks, and crocodiles all end up circling the same water in one form or another. In a place like this, the river is never just a river. It is a meeting point, a hunting ground, and sometimes a battlefield. And if humans pollute that water or take away the wetlands around it, the whole system feels it. The afternoon is fading now, and the banks are settling into shade. One crocodile lies perfectly still near the edge, while a herd of thirsty animals hesitates farther off. No one rushes. Everyone is listening. That is the real rhythm of this place. Ancient patience on one side, careful survival on the other. Here's something that may surprise you. A burned savanna can turn green again fast enough to bring the whole food scene back to life. After the smoke clears and the rain finally comes, the Valley of the Rocks changes mood almost overnight. Black ground gives way to fresh grass. The air feels cleaner. The hills and stone outcrops stand watch over a country that is waking up again. This is one of the lion's favorite strongholds, with rocky hideouts for cubs and wide open land nearby for hunting. Waterholes draw in zebras, antelope, and other grazers, and that means the hunters keep coming too. Lions, hyenas, and all the animals they shadow are tied to this place, waiting for the next chance to eat, move, or defend what's theirs. Have you ever wondered what happens when two of Africa's fiercest hunters arrive at the same meal at the same time? The air is thick with dust and tension now. The sun is dropping low, and the ground around the kill is alive with movement. One moment, there is feeding. The next, heads come up, ears tilt, and every animal seems to measure the distance to safety. Lions are here. Hyenas are here. And neither side is in the mood to give way. The kill is not just food. It is power, pride, and survival all laid out on the grass. A single meal can turn into a full-scale showdown before your eyes. In the African twilight, that is when the real test begins. Far from the peace of the rocks and water holes, the old rivalry flares again. Now the hunters must defend what they won. And the hyenas are already closing in. And just like that, the dust begins to settle. The roar has faded, the hyenas have pulled back, and the lions are left with what they fought so hard to keep. Out here, nothing stays settled for long. A pride can split apart. A clan can grow bold. New males can come in, and old ones can vanish into the grass. But the land goes on, and so does the struggle for every meal, every cub, every patch of shade, every drop of water. That is the hard truth of these rocks and plains. It is also what makes this place so alive. Lions, hyenas, zebras, antelopes, warthogs, even the scavengers waiting in the wings. They are all tied together in one busy, unpredictable world. And people matter here too, with the choices we make about land, fire, and protection. If you enjoyed this journey, please like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and leave a comment telling us where you're watching from. Until next time, keep looking closely. The wild always has another story waiting.